this week on the Bubble Chat.
I do hope I said that right once again. I don't blame JoJo one bit for not wanting to speak to him.
He shared his inner sexual ambitions with her, and she was so sexually unexperienced, and everything. And so she felt like she was holding or cradling his like deepest desire, right? Which is you watching me getting banged by a few slew other motherfuckers, right? With big black penis, right? While you got me drugged off the baby oil drug and the ketamine and the pink cocaine and the ecstasy. I mean, your mazel tov.
Trauma can be passed down on a cellular level.
Define cellular.
Your genes. So in your genetics, trauma can be passed down.
If you want to try out for roles that people don't think that you fit, still try out for them. Because you never know. Somebody will like what you're doing, and even if they don't, well, fuck them.
Yeah.
I don't even care about the scenario. This is a married woman talking about something that happened with her colleague.
The cock, yes, the cock and the cock.
The cock, the colleague, not the cock league.
Cock league, yes, speak.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of The Bubble Chat. Today we're diving into some of the latest stories making waves across entertainment, culture, and everyday life. Whether you're tuning in on your way to work, relaxing after a long day, or just looking for something to keep you company, we've got a lot to talk about. So get comfortable because we're going to break things down in a way that's honest, clear, and easy to follow.
Let's start with something that's been showing up in a lot of headlines. The recent shift in how celebrities are using their platforms to talk about personal mental health struggles, from autoimmune conditions to mental health. More stars are opening up about what goes on behind the scenes. It's been interesting to see how these moments are changing public conversations. They're reminding us that fame doesn't make anyone immune to the same challenges regular people face.
Switching gears a little, we also want to touch on the way social media trends have been shaping how people express themselves, especially through fashion and language. Some of these trends are fun and creative, but others are bringing up concerns about originality and identity. It raises questions about how much of our online style is really our own and how much of it is borrowed from what is going viral. There's a thin line between inspiration and imitation, and the people are noticing it more than ever.
Another topic worth discussing is the new wave of independent artists making it big without a major level support. Thanks to streaming platforms and fan-driven promotion, these creators are carving out their own lanes and reaching global audiences on their own terms. It is such that it's a shift that's changing music's industry as a whole, showing that success doesn't always come from traditional paths. These stories are not only inspiring, but they're also highlight how technology continues to level the playing field. And of course, we want to leave you with a quick reminder: whatever's happening in the world, it's okay to take things one step at a time. Whether you're keeping up with the news or just trying to stay grounded in your own goals, remember that balance matters. Now, as Wendy Williams once said, it's time for Hot Topics, bitch. How you doing?
How you doing? A little bit nervous since I'm about to graduate college soon.
Oh,
Congratulations, nephew.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first up, on May 12, 2025, rapper Tory Lanez, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, was attacked in prison at the California Correctional Institute in Tehachapi. The alleged Tehachapi. Sorry. The alleged assailant, 42-year-old inmate Santino Casio, is serving a life sentence for second-degree murder and has a history of violent offenses while incarcerated. Lane sustained 14 stab wounds, including injuries to his back, torso, head, and face, leading to both lungs collapsing. He was promptly treated and is now recovering in stable condition. This incident has raised concerns about inmate safety and the effectiveness of prison security measures. Cassio's prior convictions for assaults and possession of deadly weapons while in prison highlight potential lapses in monitoring high-risk inmates. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, along with the Office of the Inspector General, has initiated an investigation into the stabbing. Given the severity of the attack on Tory Lanez and the assailant's history of violence, what steps should prison authorities take to enhance inmate safety and prevent such incidents in the future?
Well, first off, I genuinely thank God that Tory is okay, regardless of how people feel about him. It's never something to celebrate when a person's life is in danger. I mean, there was one concern that those stab wounds, well, at least a few of them, could be fatal. And that's serious. No one deserves to be harmed like that, even when all serving time. And obviously, that doesn't erase or excuse what he did back 5 years ago. Tory Lanez was convicted for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot, and he is serving the consequences for that. The impact on Megan was really real. It was emotionally, physically, and publicly. So I want to be clear: justice was served in that case, and I stand by that. But at the same time, I also believe that wishing harm on someone, even some, even someone who's done wrong, isn't the answer. Accountability is just one thing. Violence behind bars is another. I'm just relieved that he's recovering, and I hope the situation doesn't get worse for anyone involved.
Ladies?
Well, I giggle because the work that I've done previously in corrections, this is nothing new, right? However, this is a high profile situation and we all hear about it. But inmate violence is nothing new. And as far as what they can do, we're talking about facilities that are already understaffed with overworked people. I know that there's a salary range that's posted online, but these people work a lot of overtime too. So we get burnout, we get fatigue, we get people getting into norms and routines that are not conducive to helping support the environment, and then also all the traffic that comes through, not only with the correctional officers, but the common folks. So like hospital staff and people that operate in the record keeping and all these things have access to information about this person, a high profile person. And I do not recall what the protocol is to maintain their safety to a sense. But if it's my understanding, or, you know, it's to my understanding that it was something along the lines of like, hey, if you're in this inmate's file and their high profile case and you're not supposed to be in their file, like that can lead to possibly some type of corrective action or you even losing your job and all the things. I remember working in institutions when Scott Peterson was you know, in the same space as where I worked at, and like that was a thing. Like you're not supposed to be in somebody's file. So in regards to security, like there's so many opportunities for it to be breached. Does that make sense how I'm explaining it? Like, what do you do when you have so many hands in a pot? So much access. I don't even know the answer for that. And I'm sorry that this has happened to a person, but again, it's not new in the Department of Corrections.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amber?
Well, everything was so well he said, but I just think it's so far gone, the whole corruption in the prisons, corruption in the streets, like the police corruption. I think it's so far gone that is there really anything that can really be done?
I think that was advocate. He wasn't hog-tied, he did not drop the soap, but he took one. He took a few. And I'm willing to say that I'm sure if he would have been stabbed in the hoof, he would have did it. Just take off the big toe, take off the ankle. I'm sure he would have been down with it versus two collapsed motherfucking lungs. I'm assuming he might have even taken up the ass. Because, you know, the two collapsed lungs getting poked and shanked like that ain't good for nobody. What I will say is karma's a motherfucker. So let's just replay the day the horse that got shot in the hoof, right? They made her get out the car. Her ass and a ham shank flanks was all showing and shit. Had a hand up, treated her like a hostile motherfucking criminal, right? Now we have a demure offense person in jail trying to be a good citizen, might get released on some good behavior, but you was a bad boy. So I'm not surprised that one of her farm family animal friends, Father Goose, Mother Duck, come up there and struck that nigga and left his ass land where he lay. I'm so sorry to say I don't feel sorry for him. I'm happy he's alive, and hopefully he can pull it back together, you know. They say ducks roll water off the back. They back like, you know, roll the water off the back. Just roll it off. Let's see how it works out.
Yeah. Well, up next, JoJo Siwa has addressed the controversy surrounding her time on Celebrity Big Brother, particularly the incident involving former contestant, Mickey Rourke. I hope I said that right. Rourke exited the show following inappropriate behavior and language, including homophobic remarks directed at Siwa. When asked about any post-show communication with Rourke, Siwa humorously remarked that he had probably forgotten who she is by now. TMZ claimed that JoJo hadn't spoken to him ever since. This incident has sparked discussions about the responsibilities of reality TV producers in managing and responding to inappropriate behavior among contestants, and it also highlights the challenges LGBTQ plus individuals may face in such public forums. I love to hear from you guys. In light of JoJo Siwa's experience on Celebrity Big Brother, how should reality TV handle instances of discriminatory behavior among contestants to ensure a respectful and inclusive environment?
Say something. I do not know everything about Mickey Rourke, right? I remember seeing him in Iron Man. And my family, you know, the historians, my elders are like, oh yeah, Mickey Rourke, he's making a comeback because something happened to where this was like his second or third life. Meaning he, you know, the fall from grace, the alcoholism, the drugs, the things of Hollywood that can consume somebody's soul. He fell victim to that, is essentially what my elders were telling me. And then I just did a quick check on like his background. So this man was a professional boxer too. So I just want to give context in the sense that that motherfucker is not in his right mind all day. The drugs that got him fucked up, his brain been all the time. Like for a professional boxer, there's so much trauma that happens with the fights and all the things. I'm like, oh, so he probably is not even mad, you know, about JoJo Siwa or the LGBTQ plus community. He probably got some internal shit where all his wires are not crossing or connecting. And I'm not minimizing what he did, but and he's old as shit. He's 72 years old. That motherfucker been through a lot of shit. So cocaine was cocaine.
The real shit.
It was cocaine, you know, in his days. It wasn't cut, split. He had a weed. Them sugar boogers. So I'm just saying, just bring context to the whole person. Damn. It's not okay for the homophobic rhetoric, especially not on that platform. However, he probably was pinned and prepared to be the bad guy because he said, shit, I'm on a banana peel. I'm about to be out the way anyway. Y'all want to paint me as a picture and y'all want some real good TV shit. I'm 72, about to die. This is my third life. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, so let me be real about this whole Celebrity Big Brother situation. I think I have heard of the show. It's been around for a while and always find a way to stir up some kind of drama, but I've never sat down and actually watch it. Still, you don't need to be a regular viewer to know when something crosses the line. But when it comes to JoJo Siwa and Mickey Rourke, I do hope I said that right once again. I don't blame JoJo one bit for not wanting to speak to him if that were to be the case. If someone made inappropriate homophobic comments towards me or my community That's just not something to sweep under the rug. Distance is a form of self-respect, and it's a boundary, and JoJo has every right to see that. Now, about Mickey resigning, let's call it what it is. That wasn't just a quiet exit. I believe he stepped away from the a show to dodge the media heat. But here's the thing: when you say something controversial in today's world, whether it's on TV, online, or in an interview, you got to be ready for the consequences. You can't just say something harmful and then act surprised when people respond with outrage. If you're going to be bold enough to make a statement, you've got to be. Sorry, if you're going to be bold enough to make a statement, you've got to be bold enough to stand by it, explain your reasoning, and most importantly, hold yourself accountable. Hiding it doesn't fix it, and silence doesn't clean it up. Growth only comes when you own up to what you said and do better. That's just how I see it.
No, put that picture. Well, he used the nigga word, right?
I don't know.
With a hard R.
Did he?
He did.
Oh no.
It was a hard R. But look. I'm just gonna try and make it real simple and quick with it. But nothing I say is simple and quick. What I'm trying to say is I'm not offended by him using a word. I'm not offended by having an R on it. Because I use the word and sometimes I put an R on it. And I'll be talking to white people. It's a two-way street, right? I'm not, that doesn't really affect me. What gets on my motherfucking nerves in this issue is how the hell, why the fuck TMZ got everybody motherfucking business on Rolodex and on dial? That's all I want to know. Why the fuck they know every motherfucking, I'm tired of the TMZ motherfucking narrative. Do you know what TMZ stand for? 10 mile
zone.
So what I'm sure these motherfuckers live 10 miles away from where the goddamn TMZ goddamn headquarters is. I'm just sick of this shit. I'm sorry. Harvey, get your nigger ass out of my face and stay out of folks' business. That's what I got to say. What I got to say.
I don't have much to say on it.
Just say you concur.
I concur.
That's what I'm talking about. See? That's what I'm talking about. Now, is it my turn?
I think it's Jasmine's.
Ooh.
Wait, let me check.
No, it's my turn. You got me so cross and confused. I can't wait. Come on with it.
Okay.
Come on, Cleve.
In a recent federal court session, singer Cassie delivered a detailed testimony against her former partner, Sean Diddy Combs, during his ongoing sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Ventura recounted an incident from August 2018, stating that after a dinner intended for closure, Combs allegedly raped her in her own home. She described the experience as traumatic, noting that Combs appeared detached during the act and left immediately afterward. Ventura further testified about the psychological toll the alleged abuse took on her, leading to a suicide attempt in 2023. She shared that she sought help through rehab and trauma therapy with the support of her now husband, Alex Fong. Considering the gravity of Cassie Ventura's allegations and their potential impact on the music industry, how should the industry address and respond to such serious accusations against prominent figures?
Honestly, my heart hurts for her to this day. After everything that's come out and the testimony she gave, it's clear that she's been through way more than most of us could ever imagine. The things she described, that wasn't just a fucking toxic relationship. That was hell on earth. No one under any circumstances should ever have to endure that kind of abuse, manipulation, and control. And what makes it even more heartbreaking is how long she had to carry it in silence, in fear, and probably feeling like she had no way out. We often see celebrities as distant or untouchable, but Cassie goes to show that abuse doesn't care about fame. It can happen to anyone, and just because someone looks like they're living a dream on the outside doesn't mean they're not suffering behind the scenes. I'm just really glad that she's still here and finally speaking her truth, because that takes strength. And I hope she continues to find healing, peace, and the support she deserves. And I hope those people who harmed her, no matter how powerful they are held accountable. Because she didn't deserve any of that. Period.
Beyonce and Jay-Z got a song called, I think it's called Hollywood. It's the life satisfaction, Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood is Hollyweird, okay? And a part of the detail or the testimony that she gave was he shared his inner sexual ambitions with her, and she was so sexually unexperienced, and everything. And so she felt like she was holding or cradling his like deepest desire, right? Which is you watching me getting banged by a slew other motherfuckers, right? With big black peens, right? While you got me drugged off the baby oil drug and the ketamine and the pink cocaine and the ecstasy. I mean, girl, you mazel tov in the pussy. What I'm saying is what she said was is that she didn't want another woman pleasing him because in some capacity she was very jealous. I'm not in her mind, her body, or her drug-induced state. But I would assume that her eyes was on the prize and she was like, I'm going to keep fucking and sucking until I can make my own money. I'm assuming like he got so much control over me. He can dress me, take me out, fly me, fuck me, but I still ain't made not one red cent. I don't have no bag. I'm not making any money. So I'm assuming a part of the drugs and the love and the abuse and all that shit, she still was focused on the end game, the prize, which was a deal. Let me drop another album. Can I get on a feature? Can I get back on a chart? You see what I'm saying? Like he had her tied up. She wasn't gonna go anywhere, but she was sitting there saying, taking it, ingesting them drugs and stressed out all the same. She said, "Why I'm here? While I'm here." See, Celie didn't say while I'm here. Celie said, "See, I'm still here." Cassie said, "While I'm here." I'm sure she just put up with some extra amount of shit. I'm not, I would, if I put myself in that situation, I'm around here dealing with the diddler and then all these people and I get to choose who I'm about to get mangled by. It's a choice. All he said was it got to be big and black. I'm a pick who I want to, right? So all these things are going on. And it's like, so, and you say because you were scared, was you really scared? Because you wasn't scared when you was talking to Kid Cudi and the car got blew up. You wasn't scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, girl, you was trying to get the dough. And you got it now, 30 million, you up. Congratulations on the baby.
So this is intense.
Very.
I hear you, Donnie, and I also want to bring light to two things. So one in particular that I heard about, and I'm still, doing some research on, but trauma can be passed down on a cellular level.
Define cellular.
Your genes. So
Okay,
in your genetics,
okay.
trauma can be passed down, and there's a science to it. Okay, so most recently, Holocaust survivors and descendants did a study by Rachel Yehuda, which showed that the children of Holocaust survivors had epigenetic changes in the FKBP5 gene, which regulates stress hormone response. These changes were linked to increased sensitivity to stress. Okay. So this is a study that happened for Holocaust survivors to prove that trauma is passed down on a genetic level, right? And the other part of this, the second part that I wanted to bring to the forefront is Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome, right? So Stockholm syndrome is a term that is used by a emotional attachment, loyalty, or even love for an abused woman to their abuser. However, it does not fully capture the complexity of what's happening in abusive relationships.
That's right.
And then what I wanted to bring to the forefront in regards to that is, in abusive relationships, a victim forms an emotional bond with their abuser as a coping mechanism for survival. So get this right. We have a young woman, early, anything with teen is impactful.
Very
so
inexperienced,
19, 18, it's impactful for me, right? So you don't, the idea of self is not even really there. That frontal lobe is not fully developed, says how we have kids on our health insurance until they're 26, right? So all these things. So we have a young woman who's put in a space where her basic needs are being met by her abuser.
Yes.
Right. So how can she even solidify a ground to walk on? She's constantly on a banana peel. She's constantly in a running, because the person that is providing her food and shelter and all the things is also then using these as a mechanism for control. That's what she's speaking to. And in doing so, she forms these attachments that are unhealthy, unsafe, and these bonds that other people on the outside would be like, well, this doesn't make sense. However, it made sense for her because she was surviving. And when people are in survival mode, these are the things that they will do. And I wanted to bring the full picture in with my little insert, is that when I think about the cellular level, while she's in the courtroom revisiting trauma, she's carrying a baby in her womb. So everything that she is triggering, post-traumatic stress disorder, she is then inserting that right now into this baby. That is so impactful, and it's so it's so I feel for her on levels, because it takes such a big person, such a brave person to do this, and then to have a partner there for her covering. Alex Fine got to hear all this shit, but he also got to think about that baby she carrying.
Girl, what about that?
It is a whole thing. So while Adonis, I do understand your thought process like this, there's so many layers to this that we might not have the full picture of.
But and what you're saying goes hand in hand with what I'm saying. So the catchphrase that got me and everything that you said was sensitive to it was the three where you said sensitive to something, like the baby is gonna be increased. The baby's going to be more sensitive to abuse or something. Basically, that's what you just said. Say it again.
Here's that on a cellular level, based on the research that was done for the Holocaust survivors, those individuals had things changed in their DNA, where it looks like, hold on, I don't want to misspeak. Where it looks like,
you said it was an increased sensitivity or something?
Yeah, they had increased sensitivity to stress. Yes. And those are Holocaust survivors.
Increased sensitivity to stress. Okay, that's empathy at the end of the day, correct? Is that empathy?
An increased sensitivity to stress?
When you're being empathetic to something? No? Empathetic?
Well, empathetic is I can put myself in their shoes.
I can relate. Okay, right. So, okay, what you said goes hand in hand. So you said that her meds and her means are being met beyond capacity, correct? And that's a part of Stockholm system. Like I didn't have anything, and now I have all these things. He bought my mama a house. I mean, I'm on the yard. I'm on the charts. You know, all these things. I couldn't do it by myself. He's doing it, right? So that's how you form the Stockholm system. Like you have emotions for this. But what I'm saying is he was doing all these great things before he switched on her. And that's when you start making excuses. If a motherfucker was just treating you regular, smuggler, and then start making you drink water out the gutter, you be like, nigga, get on my motherfucking face. I'm gonna run home to my mama. But since you've been feeding me grape juice and champagne flutes, I'm sprung, right? So when you put my face in the gutter, put your hands on me, assault me sexually, you know what I'm saying, degrade me, minute me down, then I'm gonna start making excuses like you said. You know, that's basically what she was doing, making excuses, letting it be okay that he's doing this because he's done all these great things. So it's his ass whooping compared to my Givenchy, my Birkin bag, the Bentley rides, my condo, and all these things, and my deal. I'm gonna get something. I'm supposed to get something out of this. You see what I'm saying? Like, we fucking now, right? But before he started whipping my ass, he spoiled me as a talent as an artist. Then he pursued me as a girlfriend. Then he started treating me like an old nickel bag ass whore. You see what I'm saying? So what you're saying is that she went through all that, and what I'm saying is she never thought the only reason I'm here is because I'm supposed to get in a bag. I signed the deal.
Well, I will respectfully
You see how
disagree.
they go? You see how they
Yeah, I will respectfully disagree, underlying the sense that she said that she was sexually inexperienced. For somebody who is sexually inexperienced, what she's experiencing in her mind, she thinks is the norm. And maybe her parents, just like my parents, didn't have the sex talk. Didn't have the, hey, this is how your body should be treated. Hey, this is how a man should be treated. Those things per certain generations didn't fall through. We had to learn. We had to learn by our experiences. We had to learn from our friend groups and all the things that they were experiencing. So maybe very well she was isolated and made to feel like this was the norm in a certain degree.
I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. I'm not in agreement. I'm not in disagreement of anything that you're saying, but there are two sides of the coin. And I'm saying through all that bullshit she went through, I know she was like, in the back of her mind and in the front for that motherfucker, she was like, I'm going to get my payday. Like, I'm going to get a break. I'm going to get a chance. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know, or maybe I'll say hope. Maybe I'll say hope. I'm going to say maybe she stayed hopeful during the whole time. Like, it's going to pan out on the other end. Like, I can endure this. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though it panned out on the end, on the other end, all the way on the other end. But you see what I'm saying? Like, she could have got her payday and got her justice due and all her rights without everything that she's going through now. Like, it could have stopped. He broke me off. I got on track. I was able to do other things outside of just being his victim or being compensated for all the bullshit he did. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that she doesn't have any hope now, but there's no, I mean, there's no pursuit of hope. You know, you gave me $30 million. Let me sit my ass down. Shit. Let me just sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think, she been famous. She been on the Met Gala. She been everywhere. She did all these great, wonderful things under tragic motherfucking circumstances. Now that you got the bag, which is why we all came to this in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Now when you finally get the bag, girl, sit your ass down and shut the fuck up, girl. Testify and have the baby. God bless you, Cassie. We're so sorry. And I'm sorry we got to say God bless you too, puppy, but you ain't shit, you little oily, greasy bastard. Can we go on to the next subject?
Well, Amber, did you want to input anything on that? No? Okay. It was a lot. Sorry, y'all.
No, I love Jasmine. I love when you be on your soapbox. You know, I be on a stack of dirty diapers because I be talking shit. What I'm just talking, I'm sorry. Get it together. I'm gonna get it together. Can somebody buy me a string of pearls for Father's Day so I can just clutch them when I need, please? Because the rosary is not helping me. I think I need some pearls. Get me right. All right. Okay. Is y'all ready for the next story, nephew? You got me so fucked up. Ooh. We went from and of course, this motherfucker had to bring up this motherfucking bullshit. You know what the fuck I'm talking about? Taylor Swift. Anyways, up next in a recent development in legal dispute between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni over the film It Ends With Us. Baldoni's legal team has subpoenaed Taylor Swift. Oh my God. They allege that Lively attempted to pursue Swift into publicly supporting her by threatening to release private texts if she didn't comply. Lively's attorney, Michael Gattit, has denied these claims, labeling them as baseless and an abuse of a legal process. Swift's representative have contested the subpoena, asserting that she had minimal involvement with the film beyond licensing a song and viewing it post-release. They argue that the subpoena is an unjustified attempt to involve her in a matter where she had no direct connection. Considering Taylor Swift's limited involvement in the film, what are the implications of subpoenaing a high-profile individual in legal disputes, and how might this affect public perception in the legal process. Let me be the first one to say we don't give a fuck, we don't give a shit, because we not white. Okay, I'm gonna just say that first. This is rich white folk bukkake. Okay, this is cunt and cock issues. Okay, ain't nothing around here talking about no dick and no pussy, and we ain't getting no climax after the CCs. Okay, we wanna go pop a CC. You see what I'm saying? A breast bag or a pill prescription, but I'm just gonna leave cunt and cock alone, cunt and cock, because it's two. So I'm gonna just leave cunt and cock alone, and I hope you burn in debt. You cunt. I'm done.
I concur.
No comment.
Cause you like her. You ain't gonna defend your girlfriend. You ain't gonna speak up for your bitch. You ain't gonna love her today.
I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I listen to Taylor Swift music a lot, but that doesn't make me necessarily a Swiftie.
Oh, but you're quick with it. You ain't Swift, but you quick with it.
If that's what you want to say.
Oh, because you sure ain't slow about it. You ain't slow. Jasmine, what you and that pretty wig got to say? I like that hair today. That's some sexy hair. That look like you need to be on the piano and Green Light video, Beyonce. Those combs to the side a little bit. Yeah.
So what I gotta say about Taylor Swift?
The cunt. What you got to say about it?
I don't even. I have nothing to say about Taylor Swift. Yeah, I don't even know. This right here is not of importance or significance to me. Yeah, I don't even care about the scenario. This is a married woman talking about something that happened with her colleague.
The cock, yes, the cock and the cock. Yeah, you said
the
it right.
the colleague, not the cock league.
Cock league, yes, speak.
Yeah, it's above me. Go ahead.
This is out of our pay. This is out of our pay record.
You better quit incorporating these stories up in here. We don't even, you don't get no juice from us. Short show.
You know we don't. We don't like damn Taylor Swift. He bring this bitch around like the dirty, faulty cousin she is. We don't love her. We don't love her. We should have let Vanessa Williams stab her ass, and when she found out she was fucking Uncle Frank, that's what we should have did. We should let Vanessa Williams gut that hoe right there at the goddamn family function. Ooh, we could have had a double fume, but it's all right. It's all right.
Jawan gonna write in his diary about this and cry.
He gonna pray about it and cry because Joe Jonas was recently seen. Joe Jonas was recently seen enjoying an evening with an identified brunette, as schmuck, a European-style bar in New York in the East Village. The duo appeared deeply engaged in conversation, approximately 3 hours together without any overt displays of affection, according to the eyewitnesses' accounts. Notably, Jonas waited about 20 minutes for his companions arriving, accompanying by himself with his phone during the interim. This slightly follows Jonas' previous romantic leaks, including a relationship with model Stormy Bree and a brief connection with actress Leila Abdallah. And since he been getting his hoe on, hey, this Jonas is outside. JJ say I'm outside. Since 2023. Because Taylor Swift, you next on the hit list. Separation from Sophie Turner, Jonas has been navigating the dating scene. So he sounds like a white boy male Lori Harvey. Jonas has been navigating the dating scene with his latest outing, adding public interest in his personal life. Now, why do we care what he's doing? Now, he probably got to be going through all these women because he ain't got no pain. He just out here throwing tic-tacs at these women and they mad. Considering the public's fascination with celebrity relationships, I wonder how big Michael B. Jordan's dick is now. They say that. How do such insights influence the narrative around celebrities? My mind be working. My mind be working. And I was just thinking, and I said that if Joe Jonas is a white male version of Lori Harvey pussy probably ain't bad because these niggas she was fucking with probably had tic-tac type dicks. See? And that's why I said, that's why I'm wondering how Michael B. Jordan got it, Future, and all them niggas she was fucking with. And now I want to know from all these ladies, What JoJo, what kind of cock he got? He got a tic-tac cock. He got a big cock. Like, not a big like a lighter. See that? Like big cock.
Something is really wrong. I think I'm lonely because I'm really considering what you're saying. And
Yeah,
low-key.
you should, girl, because
It's
I'm making
low-key
sense.
turning me
I know
on,
Amber
and we
say
need to
you
move on to
concur.
something.
Amber, say you concur.
Because I'm lonely.
Say you can. She gonna play me, put her thumb up. She gonna say this. I do make a lot of sense. It all works together. So how do you guys feel about us being all in these celebrity people's personal business?
I'm not surprised.
Without really giving us the deets.
You know, when it comes to celebrities, especially those in the spotlight for years, like Joe Jonas, the dating cycle moves fast. And for those of you who don't know who Joe Jonas is, he's a member of the Jonas Brothers that was on Disney, or at least it looks like it's from the outside. Like a lot of celebrities date or even marry someone equally famous, then they break up before you even know it. They're seen with someone new at a restaurant, an event, or just walking down the street. You know, it's like clockwork. But let's be honest, when you live your life in the public eye, everything is going to look speed up. Maybe they're genuinely moving on, or maybe it's just a friendly outling. But the headlines love to build a story either way. And I don't judge Joe for moving on if that's what he's doing. That's life, relationships, and people eventually find their way again. But it does make that bigger thought. How different the cycle looks for celebrities. From them, privacy is rare, and even the smallest moves become public conversation. So, yeah, Joe's doing what a lot of celebs do, navigating love, loss, and life under a microscope.
I hope Joe Jonas or Kevin Federline get Taylor Swift knocked up 3 times like ASAP Rocky did Rihanna and sit her ass down. That's what I hope. And I wish them all the well and all the luck. And what you said, the baby's gonna be extra sensitive to stress.
To stress.
Yes.
Like Amber, what do you think about that?
You can't concur this one.
So honestly, I barely follow celebrities. Like that's why I'm so removed from the conversation. Cause like I read like novel type books. I don't really watch much. I'll watch a little reality TV, but for the most part, a lot of these stories that we're talking about tonight, it's my first time hearing about them.
Segue to reality TV.
Wait a minute. So Amber, did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Okay, Sophie Turner, the wife of Joe Jonas, he separated from him, played Sansa Stark. Sansa. Yeah. The one that had to marry Joffrey.
Yeah.
Joffrey in the wedding. Okay, I know you remember that scene. Okay. So that's who Sophie Turner is. So how dare Joe play with a Stark? How dare he?
Yeah. Okay.
That was her acting debut. Baby girl did everything. She was everything. So I don't like that. I ain't here for it. You know, she a powerhouse.
Because she couldn't play with it either.
I didn't deal with you. So Adonis, let me be clear. Are you implying that Joe Jonas is hanging and swinging?
No, I'm saying he is a teeter Peter. That's what I'm saying.
Peter.
A teeter Peter, yeah.
And I said hanging and swinging.
He got he got the do-bell.
We need to get these trademarked. A teeter Peter.
Teeter Peter, yes. You said tickle the pickle last episode.
Yes, that lady said she wanted to tickle that man's pickle.
Baby. I said tickle the taint today, but I never said tickle the pickle. I said tickle the taint.
Oh my God.
That is AKA known as the gooch. Just for the ladies, just in case you didn't know, taint and gooch is the same thing. Almost as a landing strip to a woman. Next.
Wait, Juwan.
I think continuing to honor Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, it's important to recognize individuals who have not only excelled in their fields, but have also built strong ties to their communities. One of these figures' impact on food culture goes beyond the kitchen, best known for launching the Kogi barbecue taco truck in Los Angeles. I'm talking about Roy Choi.
Roy Choi helped pave the way for modern food truck movement by blending Korean and Mexican flavors in an accessible and creative way. Choi's journey into a culinary world wasn't always straightforward. After facing personal struggles, he found purpose in cooking and used it as a tool for connection. His history is a reminder that success can come from embracing your roots and using your platforms to uplift others. Through his restaurants, books, and shows, he has opened up conversations about identity, belonging, and the power of food that brings people together. In addition to his cooking, Choi has worked on several community-centered initiatives. He's made a point to correct spaces where people from all backgrounds feel welcome and fed. His work with under-resourced neighborhoods, especially in Los Angeles, shows his commitment to food justice and economic access. It's not just about great dishes, it's all about meeting people where they are. Choi has also stepped into the world of media with projects like Broken Bread, where he explores the inspections of food inequality and sustainability. Girl, I fucked it up. Say the word, somebody. Sustainability. I got it. This is Jeopardy! Great.
Hey, what's up, Bubble Chat fam? Today is a very special one. May is AAPI Heritage Month, and we are all about honoring the brilliance, creativity, and resilience of the Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. Today, we're joined by someone who's been lining up the stage and breaking barriers for over 2 decades and has also got started with me as a theater major while minoring in Asian American Studies at my soon-to-be alma mater, San Francisco State University. She's a queer Filipina multidisciplinary artist and force in the Bay Area theater scene, and she's got moves that you could quite literally knock you off your feet. Please welcome to the Bubble Chat, the one and only Jessica Fong. Hey, Jessica, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for the warm welcome, Joanne. I appreciate it.
No problem. Everyone's been like, every time I introduce the show, I try to introduce it as professionally as I possibly can, and after I do that, they'll be like, wow, that's such a good intro.
It's a great intro.
Thank you. Alrighty, so first off, welcome to the Bubble Chat podcast. How does it feel to be joining us during AAPI Heritage Month?
It feels great. Yeah, thank you for inviting me to come on here. Yeah, I'm really excited.
No problem. So, let's go back to the beginning a little bit. You've been doing theater for probably over 2 decades. Take us back to the beginning. What first pulled you into the world of performance?
Sure. Um, so when I was younger, I started off doing music. I was taking voice and piano lessons when I was really young, like 11 years old, right? And my voice teacher at the time told me that the company that she was working with was doing auditions for Beauty and the Beast. And Beauty and the Beast was my, at least at the time was like my all-time favorite Disney movie. It's still up there for me. And I was like, okay, I'm like 12 years old. I have no experience, but I want to go in an audition and I want to be Belle. I didn't get Belle. It's okay. I got the ensemble. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. And, as soon as I started doing it, I was like, okay, this is the art form that I really want to be in. Like before that, I had done music, I had done some dance, but, especially being in a musical, it incorporates all of that.
Right?
It
It's
was
like a
so
big
much
fucking
fun.
deal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're more
Yes.
welcome to cuss if you want to. I cuss on all my podcast episodes.
Oh, okay. Shit. Well, all right.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Jessica, you describe yourself as a queer Filipina multidisciplinary artist. How does your identity shape your journey into art?
Ooh, that's a tough question to answer. It's a great one though. Yeah, I would say especially lately, because I've been doing a lot of new works, and the last couple of plays that I have done have been revolved around queer stories. Um, and yeah, and I am doing Queer as Fuck again this year. And so it's been really a pleasure to be able to combine, art with also exploring my queer side and combining the two. Especially in this day and age, with an administration that is looking to cut us down. So I love using art as a form of resistance and I love resisting by telling queer stories and just, existing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. So, speaking of Fiddlestick Studios, you recently performed there in Love Edition as Selena, who is like this super, super badass motorcycle biker. What was that experience like, and what drew you to that production?
Well, what drew me to that production is like I've been involved with Boot Bindle Stiff before because I did Queer as Fuck last year, and then right before that, I actually did the fight choreography for Stories High. So this is already a space that I was familiar with, and I saw the audition notice for Love Edition, and I was like, oh, okay. I was curious to see how they were going to put it all together, especially given that it's several short plays that are all interconnected by a through line. Um, and so I was just like, you know what? I'm curious. I'm going to audition. I think at that point they hadn't said what direction that they were going with the storytelling, other than that it was going to be about love. Um, and then I think at the auditions, they told us that it was going to be revolved around a wedding. I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, I already knew a lot of the people involved, so I was just like, I just want to come and play.
That's good. You are also certified stage combat in 6 disciplines. You recently told me before the podcast episode that you were taking a stage combating class. Uh,
Hmm.
we're just curious to know what does that training involve, and how did you like really get into it?
So the first time I ever did stage combat was I did this play called In the Wound, and it's how I met Jake. For the listeners who don't know, it's Jake Fong is my husband,
I
and he's also an actor as well here in the Bay Area. Um, yeah, so we did a modern day adaptation of the Iliad. He played Achilles, and I played Prince Hector. And so in the original story, Achilles kills Hector and then drags his body around the town for like 10 days. We didn't have to do the dragging around for 10 days part though. Um, so that's how my love for stage combat started. That's how, the romance started with my husband. Um, and the person who did the fight direction for that play, we kept taking classes from him, and now he's like one of my mentors. He's really awesome. His name is Dave Mayer. He's a pretty big time fight choreographer here in the Bay.
you with the stage combat mentor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that because he was recently a fight choreographer for She Kills, which I was an assistant set designer for last school year, and he was also in Jake's podcast, Yay. So
Yep.
huge shout out to Dave. He's like super amazing, and I'm looking forward to learning about him more.
Yeah, he's really awesome. Actually, he was teaching the class that I was just at today. So, yeah. Yeah, Dave's awesome. Also, fun fact,
Uh-huh.
uh, at our wedding, Jake and we did a first fight, and Dave choreographed that, and he
Oh,
was also there
really?
at the wedding. Yeah.
That is so fucking cool.
It was a lot of fun. I'll have to send you the video later.
Please do, please do. Um, so let's see. All right, so Shakespeare in Babak. I do hope I didn't butcher that. Sounds like an incredible vision. I mean fusion. I said vision. Um, how did your approach choreographing the fights in a story with such rich cultural layers?
So it was interesting coming into this piece because by the time I had come in, which was kind of already later in the process, they had already staged pretty much everything, and they had already programmed all the light cues. And so the way that the theater was set up, It's a black box theater for those who aren't familiar with Bendel stuff. Um, it's a black box, and there's audience on like two sides
They're like
that are
one right there and one right there,
yeah.
and the other one right there. But when I was watching Love Edition, it was right over there.
Yeah, so it does, because it is a black box theater, right? We are able to kind of change the seating arrangements as needed. But the kind of default is like a kind of like a square with audience on like two sides that are kind of connected. Um, and the moment that I had to create the violence for was they'd already staged it, so the violence was happening right in front of the audience that was like right kind of in that corner. So the audience on both sides. And it was really tricky because it was a slap. And when you do a slap, there somebody, whether it's an actor that's on stage or somebody who's off stage, has to make a sound like what we call a nap. And obviously you don't want the audience to see that, right?
Right.
So I had a really unique challenge of how to hide the nap. And so what I ended up having the actors do was the actor who got slapped, I had him like basically find an acting reason why it's like why he should put his hands by his face.
Mm-hmm.
And the person doing the slapping slapped one of his hands. So it was definitely a very interesting challenge. It was hard, but it was also a lot of fun. And I had asked the director if there was a way that we could potentially move the fight like upstage a little bit, because then it'll be easier to hide the nap. But because they had already pre-programmed the lights, we couldn't do that. So I was like, okay, all right, we'll roll with the challenge.
Roll over the challenge, risk it for the biscuit. I like that. You hold a Bachelor's of Arts in Theater Arts and a minor in Asian American Studies from San Francisco State University. How did those two fields, intersect you during your studies?
Oh, let's see. Well, one way that they intersected was, I think it was trying to remember when it was. It was my very first semester, like, actually like being on campus, right? Because I transferred in 2021, so we were still doing the Zoom thing.
Yes.
So I want to say, I think it was like spring of 2022. Um, but I saw that Professor Yuki Goto, was having teaching I think it was called Theater in the Asian Diaspora, and it focuses
I'll look it up
on
later.
yeah, it focused on traditional Japanese theater. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. I get to take a theater class, and it's also like kind of connected to my minor. And just, getting to learn about non-Western types of theater was a joy. I really feel like I really learned a lot from that class. Yeah, and Yuki Goto, shout out to him. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yuki. Fun fact, he was my advisor like during my first year of SF State, except it was during COVID. I started in fall 2020, and we were still dealing with the lockdown and all that, but I think I like managed to like get used to it a little bit more, because like the moment I got my acceptance letter from SF State, I was like, okay, this is it. This is like the moment. And then, like, right when COVID came, I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do now? And I was like feeling like
Mm.
major, 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 major deep depression and anxiety. And I think I've told this before, but I was still doing some work to get my associate's degree because I was a community college student at the time. And
Mm-hmm.
um and now here I am about to graduate. So, yeah, and shout out to Yuki. He is one of those professors that hold a very, very special place in my heart. So, as someone who has studied and now created and now creates with Asian American spaces. What do you think is still missing or overlooked in mainstream theater? Because there is a lot, with the Trump administration going on and Trump signing these ridiculous executive orders. So, what do you think? What do you believe is still missing? Obviously,
Hmm. I would say that, I mean, I feel like lately we have been seeing a lot more Asian American stories, play out on stage.
uh-huh.
Um, yeah, like certainly like Chinese stories, Chinese American, Japanese. Um, but I think I would like to see other Asian cultures more represented on stage. Um, yeah, I mean, the only Cambodian piece that I know of is, Cambodian rock band, which is awesome, but I'd like to see, a non-majority, um, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And also I would love to see more intersectionality of with queer pieces as well, and just how is queerness addressed in those specific communities, or how is it not addressed?
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the most imperative conversations to have, because when George Floyd was murdered, the rapid of like conversations and activism start to like grow and grow and grow, and I still see all of that in this to this day and age. So yeah, I think it's important to like basically have those spaces. So what does community theater mean to you, especially with spaces like Middlestiff that center Filipino and AAPI voices?
What does community theater mean to me? Well, it means we come together as a community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it means that we have a space where we can gather and, be ourselves and tell our stories. We get to tell stories that aren't otherwise, represented. And I think that is really important, especially now. Um, but community also means that we help take care of each other, that we help lift each other up, that if somebody needs a little extra help and support, then we find ways to do that for them.
Yeah. How has queerness shaped the way you tell stories or choose projects?
Hmm.
Oh, it's okay.
That's
We can come back to that question if you want.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to think about that because like
Okay.
it's I I mean like I've known that that I've been bisexual, I think, since I was, let's see, I think I officially came out when I was about 20 years old, but it wasn't until recently that I started doing art that's also queer.
Yeah. All right. So we can just go ahead and come back to this question once you have like more of a full answer. But God, I also forgot to mention that you're more than welcome to come back to these questions if you want to. I forgot to mention that before we would start this podcast interview. I don't know why.
No worries.
Okay. You've been doing theater for over 20 years, and if you could send a message to your younger self stepping into her first rehearsal room, what would you say?
I would say don't let other people discourage you.
Period.
If you want to try out for roles that people don't think that you fit, still try out for them, because you never know. Somebody will like what you're doing, and even if they don't, well, fuck them.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, how do you stay inspired and grounded when juggling so many different roles, such as an actor, fight choreographer, a storyteller, and a cat mom?
Oh my gosh. It's definitely a struggle, right?
Yeah.
Because I also work full time as well. Um, just trying to find moments to breathe, trying to schedule times where I'm not doing anything. Like, for example, tomorrow I've like, no, I am not doing anything. I am not going anywhere. I'm gonna stay home and, handle what I need to handle. So it's really about trying to balance. I still haven't found the right balance yet, I think, but it's always a work in progress.
Yes, it is. So what's a dream role or dream collaboration still on your list?
Hmm. I've still never played Belle. Like, I would still love to play her. I think that would be really healing for, the 12-year-old me that didn't get it.
Yeah.
Um,
And maybe you and me could collab someday.
yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
Alrighty. So what advice would you give to young queer and or AAPI artists who are just starting out in theater or performers? And I think you've told your younger self about this before.
Hmm. Yeah, to other, AAPI young queer artists, trying to start out. Um, do what makes you feel good.
Yes, yes.
If
You feel good. Do what makes you feel happy. If you want to become a lawyer, be a lawyer. If you want to be an engineer, be an engineer. If you want to be what else? If you want to basically be whatever makes you happy. Like,
hmm Yeah, and I would say just, as with any career field, you're gonna have some really awesome people that you work with and some who are not so awesome. And, if you ever are coming into a space where you don't feel like you're being heard, like you're not safe, whether it's like physically, well, at least if it's physically, like I would really hope that you don't stay in that space. But, even like emotionally, then it's okay to leave. If
yeah.
you feel like you can't speak up, then it's okay to leave. You got to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, because here's the thing. When in my first year at the state, my secondary major was cinema, and because I just love going to the movies a lot, and I was hoping to make that as my major, but the workload from one of my classes started to take a toll on my mental health, so that's why I switched it to broadcasting, also known as Becca, because
Hmm.
and I enjoyed Becca a lot, to be honest, and it was a fun experience. I mean, cinema's good, but Becca is like more fun. It's more, and I started to realize like because I took a journalism class at community college, so it was pretty similar, but it was more so focusing on the broadcasting and electronic side.
Hmm.
So, and lastly, I think I already know the answer because I saw, but what's next for Jessica Fong?
What is next for me? Well, I am directing for this upcoming Queer as Fuck, so I'm really excited about that.
That's
Uh,
good to hear. And I'm still gonna try to go to the shows, even though I did submit a play and it was like that. I'm still gonna go to the shows because I think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
oh, no, you're fine. I was just listening.
Okay. Cause fun fact, I actually did submit a play, but I never, but I got a letter saying that they weren't able to choose mine, which I don't know why I made it like the theme of it, which is the theme of this year's queer fuck festival, power and rebellion, or the resistance and rebellion.
It's Resistance and
Resistance
Rebellion.
and rebellion, and I started doing like research, and I made it and I made sure it matches well with that theme. And and then like I didn't like think that would be the one of the reasons why I didn't get rejected. There's so many others, but I don't know why. But it is what it is, and like when like a few minutes like after I got it, I was just like hitting my bed and just like treated like a
Hmm.
punching bag and just angrily screaming it out. I mean, I didn't like really, really cry about it, but all I did when I got the rejection letter for the job that I really, really care about,
Yeah,
and
it
I,
hurts.
and I feel like it's important to realize that to know that if you ever experience rejection letters, it's okay, it's a lot to handle. It like the feeling of getting like of not being selected for a job is fucking awful, and sometimes you just need to like cry it out and like not sugarcoat your emotions.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yes to all of that. Yeah, and actually, Joanne, I'm not sure if I had told you, but I was actually co-writing for this year's um Queer as Fuck. I was actually working on the Spermies bit, which is a reoccurring kind of a reoccurring show kind of within the show that they do every year. And
Yeah.
I actually just got the email today that that was cut.
Aw.
So
So I
that's
guess
that's
we've
how it
been
goes.
so yeah, I guess we've been there that road before, or but who knows? Maybe I might volunteer for one of the shows. Maybe I might help out. I actually like submitted a volunteer form to help volunteer for the show. I don't know if they got it yet, but I might just make this one do it again and make it a little bit more clear because I didn't think that was clear.
Hmm. Yeah,
um
you should absolutely volunteer.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And were you going to say something? Were you going to say something else for what's next to you, or is that the one you have at the moment?
That's the only thing that I have confirmed at the moment.
Okay, well that's good. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for joining on the Bubble Chat. Your passion, artistry, and commitment to storytelling truly shine in everything you do. It's been such a joy learning more about your journey and celebrating your work during AAPI Heritage Month. And also to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check out Bendel Stiff Studio once you get a chance if you're ever in the San Francisco Bay Area and specifically San Francisco, and the Queer as Fuck Festival will be happening here in I think August, I believe.
Yeah, we open, let me pull out my calendar here. Um, okay, so we have previews August 7th, and then we open August 8th, and then we close on the 16th.
Okay, that's good.
So just a short 2 weekend run.
Yeah, okay. We'll have all the links in the show notes. And as always, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who loves theater, believes in representations, or just needs a reminder that the stage is big enough for all of our stories. And with that being said, we'll be right back after this message.
Welcome back from the break. We're glad that you are still with us. It is time to slide into our next segment where we put the headlines on trial and call out the real verdicts behind the drama. That's right, it's Judge Adonis. All right, now, so sit tight, open your notes if you need to, and get ready and sort through the facts, the receipts, and get straight up to the motherfucking foolishness. This week's docket is stacked, and the courtroom energy is already heating up because puffy ass next door got my motherfucking shit all backed up. But we're taking a closer look at a few other big cases that's shaking up the news cycle, okay? Because it's not always about that orange man that live in that house that's the color of bright rice. Now, from industry beef to local to legal chaos, no one is above the bench. You got to get low. You got to stay below the bench like Monica Lewinsky in my courtroom, okay? And it is the courtroom side eyes are admissible evidence. You will be guilty, bitch, because I see that side eye. Now, before we bring our next case forward, we're going to need to get our podcast attorney to step in and break it all down for us. Okay, now pull the trick on me. I thought I was running my motherfucking court. Yo, now we got motherfucking defense and prosecutors and shit. All I asked for was a bailiff. That's all I asked for was a bailiff. But I got an attorney coming up.
That's me.
Go on, nephew lawyer. Go ahead, nephew lawyer. Take it away.
Oh, I was supposed to. Oh, you're supposed to swear me in.
Oh, shit. Because you know I'm crooked. Do you promise to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
All right, come on, let's go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today, we address the recent suspension of 3 academic programs at San Francisco State University, which is soon to be my alma mater: the MA in Women and Gender Studies, the MA in Anthropology, and the BA in Chinese with a concentration in flagship Chinese language. These suspensions approved by the Academic Senate in April 2025 stem from challenges including declining enrollment, reduced faculty numbers, and the cessation and the cessation of external funding. The Chinese flagship program, for instance, has been benefited from federal funding for 15 years, which concluded last spring. The university has indicated that its funding is reinstated within the next 3 years. If the funding is reinstated, the program may resume. Now, in the case of the MA in anthropology, the program has experienced a steady decline in student applications and enrollments over the past 5 years. Department Chair Mark Griffin noted that many applicants chose other institutions, leading to unsustainable class sizes. Additionally, the department currently has only 5 faculty members, down from the usual 9 or 10, making it challenging to meet the teaching requirements. And of course, these program suspensions are part of broader financial challenges faced by the California State University system, as our tuition has been growing increasingly for the next, I think, 4 to 5 years, including proposed budget reductions. Your Honor, while the university aims to maintain transparency and sustain, and I believe the impact on students and faculty is significant. In conclusion, while these decisions are driven by financial and logistical considerations, they underscore the need for strategic planning and support to preserve academic diversity and excellence.
Well, I'll tell you right now, lawyer, nephew, lawyer, that I totally agree with what you're saying. I know that's not right. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to rule in your favor. But that Donald Trump is a tricky motherfucker, okay? And he got the Supreme Court doing backflips, and he's doing a lot of crooked shit, okay? So I'm here for you. I support you. I am here in favor and honor of every student, public school, private school, you in elementary, you in college, you in a master's degree. I don't care. I support you. Keep going. Do not stop going. Do not stop pushing. Do not stop having hope, because you have the potential to actually change things and make them right, okay? So I just want you to keep your head in books, keep your head low, and when you see that orange motherfucker, take off on them, because I will do the same. But I'll have my gavel in hand. Was that nice, nephew?
Yes.
All right, okay. I don't want you to fuck me up, Ike. You know, let me shut up. All right. Well, that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and writing through all the stories, headlines, and moments of that matters. Whether you're listening on your morning walk, doing your commute, or just winding down, we appreciate you letting us be a part of your day. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and to tell a friend, because the conversation doesn't stop here. We'll be back with more updates, more opinions, and of course, more reasons to keep that mic hot. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Catch you next time. Bye from the bus.
Bye, guys.